first speaker, I'm sure many of you are familiar with, is Sly Sylvester. He has many things that he'd like to say to our to our representative.
Brothers and sisters, solidarity. Some of you wonder where I went in the afternoon. I'm still around. Sly'sOffice.com. I podcast every day. We are on top of this. So just go to Sly'sOffice.com to hear my afternoon. Actually, it's an anytime show. It's on your time now. I first met Paul Ryan when he was a waiter at Tortilla Coast in Washington, D.C. He had just lost his job when Bob Kasten lost to Russ Feingold. That was a good day. And you know, I think he's forgotten about the waiters and waitresses and little people. He was a nice waiter. I don't think he spit in my tortilla chips. But he's forgotten about that. And if you get anything out of today, I want you to Google Paul Ryan Healthcare, Tucker Carlson on Fox. Little did I know that the most devastating moment for Paul Ryan in this whole healthcare debate would be on Fox. He thought he was in safe grounds. And Tucker Carlson's not particularly a great guy, but Tucker Carlson said, Mr. Ryan, I'm looking at your bill here, and the couples making over $250,000 that have investment income are going to be getting a big tax break out of this. Is that what this election was about? And of course, the speaker, sounding like the frat boy minor bird that he is, same thing, repeal and replace, Obamacare. Same thing over and over. But you can see his Adam's apple going up and down because he was starting to get nervous and say, wait a second, this is Fox. I'm at Fox. This isn't supposed to happen. They shouldn't be asking me about the tax care for the rich. I want you to understand something. We are all God's children. And Paul Ryan and Donald Trump and Ron Johnson, they all have a choice to make right now. God's children or people making over $250,000 that are going to have to pay a little more on capital gains. Your choice. People dying without health care. People losing their mental health care. Block grants don't count, Mr. Ryan. You know what that sociopath Scott Walker is going to do with those block grants. They're going to get block granted right up our you-know-what. That's what's going to happen. There's a story the other day about West Virginia. Donald Trump did pretty well in West Virginia, partly because they're desperate. West Virginia is running out of funeral money because so many people are dying because of the opiate crisis. Indigent people won't even have their help with their funerals anymore. This Health Care Act is going to take money away from drug treatment. We don't have enough as it is. These are the choices. That's why Paul Ryan, who dodged a debate with Paul Nealon, who dodged a debate with Ryan Solon and is now dodging a debate with us, has plenty of time to lobby with the healthcare industry. Before his miserable PowerPoint presentation the other day, he is no Ross Perot. He was meeting with Blue Cross and Blue Shield who stand to get the biggest tax advantage out of this health care bill of his. He was fundraising with the lobby group that represents them. That's what he was doing. Now, I saw Paul Ryan at Mass the other day. I happened to be in Janesville and just happened to pick his church. I wanted him to see me. I don't think he's forgotten the candy I dumped in his front yard in 2012. And I just want to read something from our Holy Father. The Catholic Church is not a fancy medical clinic for the rich, but a field hospital. Health is not a consumer good, but a universal right. Okay, Pope Francis is a pretty cool pope. Even the not cool popes agree with that. This is critical. It's critical that we stay on this because they're in a real box. And yet, they're poised to strike with real damage. And many people who are on the cusp of losing their health care are people that used to have very dependable health care. But Paul Ryan voted for trade deal after trade deal after trade deal after trade deal that emptied cities like Janesville and Beloit and Kenosha and Oak Creek. The scars of Paul Ryan are all over the 1st Congressional District. And while he sips fancy wine at the Heritage Foundation with lobbyists, and he and little Miss Muffet are living up here on the hill in the Parker Penn Mansion, the rest of us are suffering. Some call it Ryan care. Some call it Trump care. Some call it Triumph care. You know what I call it? Don't care. Because they don't care. That's what we call it. Don't care. I know you all have people in your life that are probably too tired and beaten down and disengaged, but you stay on them. You remind them what's at stake here. Who cares if you're not supposed to talk about politics or religion at the dinner table? I want you to break those rules. Yeah. Right now, Republicans have everything. And their corporate version of America is going to continue to do lasting damage unless we put a dam in the river. I stand with all of you. This is a pivotal moment. And we've been beaten down, and we've had some tough things happen to us in Wisconsin and the United States. But I will never, ever, ever concede to these people. God bless you.